Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Jillian Rogue, and today I'm bringing you another episode of No One Asked for This, but it's here. Today I'm going to talk about how to go about getting your first tattoo, at least in my opinion, based on my advice and my own mistakes and what I've learned along my tattoo journey. Again, no one asked me for this video, but I noticed a lot of people struggling to decide what they should get for their first tattoo, so I thought maybe I would put all my valuable advice into one video to maybe help someone out. When you're getting your first tattoo, you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know every detail about what you want to get. You don't need to know everything about tattoos, but it's good to have a basic idea or a foundation of what exactly you want your first tattoo to be, so you can avoid any major mistakes like ones that I made. Like this guy, this squiggly line guy right here was my first tattoo. So how to avoid that? Let's get started. You a very indecisive person? Because if you are, it might be a good idea to start small. If you're not indecisive and you know what you want, then don't be afraid to go for something bigger. But if you are very indecisive, starting small is a very safe bet, especially if you start small enough where it's easily covered in the future. Number 2 is to start really looking at people who have tattoos and to start really looking at and analyzing tattoos. Because I know before I was ever tattooed, I didn't see people's individual tattoos or thought of what they had tattooed on them so much as I just saw, oh, that person's tattooed. But in order to decide what you like and what you want on your own body, you need to know what you're looking at by looking at other people. Number 3 is keep in mind that what looks best artistically does not always look best on the body. Point in case, my first tattoo. When I first got this tattoo, it was supposed to be the bridge to Cinderella, and I wanted it so bad, and I wanted it in that spot so bad, and so many artists wouldn't do it because they said that design is not going to work in that spot, and I wouldn't listen, and I finally found an artist who did, and now I regret it. I wish I would have listened to the other artists that I went to first, because they were totally right. The design just looks weird. It doesn't fit that spot. I could have done something so much better right there. But instead, I insisted that I knew best, and those dumb artists had no idea what they were talking about. Dumb professionals trying to be professional. Had I just listened to my artist and trusted my artist, I would be much happier with my first tattoo today. But how to pick an artist is a whole nother topic, and I will discuss that in a second video to this video. A sequel? Yeah, a sequel. When it comes to choosing your first tattoo, the very first thing you need to decide on is, do you want black and gray or color? There are various styles of tattoos, but they all either come in black and gray or color. The thing is, you can't really get black and gray and then later add color. Because of all the shading, it's going to make the color look muddy, and it's not something most artists really like to do. So knowing whether or not you want black and gray or color in advance will really help. Also, as you continue to get tattooed, you might want all your tattoos to be cohesive, meaning you won't want some to be black and gray and some to be color. But hey, if you do want that, that's awesome too, because I'm a firm believer that you don't ever have to stick to just one style. But a lot of people do like to only stick to black and gray or color. And if you're one of those people, you probably want to decide which one you want. My advice is, usually if you're paler and have lighter skin, you should always go for color, because darker tones can't always handle color. Because you gotta think, when you have a tattoo, when it heals, a layer of your skin is gonna grow over the tattoo. The fairer your skin is, the lighter and brighter your colors will look, and the better color will look. That's why if you look on me, stuff that's towards the inside of my arm looks a lot brighter than stuff that's on the outside where I'm tanner. So I always say if you're really fair, definitely go color. Otherwise, black and gray is always a great option, and it always looks great too. It's really up to you. It's really up to personal preference. I don't know. I'm just the girl sitting in my apartment filming this video. I can't tell you what to do, so. Once you know whether you want black and gray or color, you need to pick the style that you want the tattoo in. Now, a lot of people just say, I want this tattoo, and they already have it figured out. But oftentimes, if you know you want a butterfly, there's a bunch of different styles to get a butterfly in. The main styles in tattooing are traditional, which is like this with bold outlines and basic colors. I forget the exact colors that traditional only comes in. I think it's like brown, red, yellow, and blue, but they only come in basic colors and bold outlines and simple designs. Next, we have neo-traditional, which is the same concept, bold outlines, but with more detail and with brighter and more of a color range, more colors. Next is new school, and new school is very cartoony. Next is realism, and that is like your 3D photo-like stuff, like portraits and stuff like that. Like my Bride of Frankenstein is realism, this is realism, Jason's realism, and this is realism. Or this is realism. Next we have trash polka, which is basically black work or black and gray with a splash of red. You can also get geometric tattoos. There's also like mechanical tattoos or biomechanical or whatever it's called. There's also tribal. Don't get tribal. Just don't get tribal. For the love of God. And there's what I like to call the Pinterest style of tattoos, which is very little, minimalistic, dainty, dumb tattoos. When I first started getting tattooed, I loved the Pinterest style. You can see I have little Pegasus, this little cactus. I loved like the little minimalistic micro tattoos. But I soon learned that that's not what looks best. That's not usually what lasts over time. And I've kind of grown to resent Pinterest tattoos, so excuse me. When it comes to the design of your tattoo, you want to pick a very neutral design that holds meaning, but not too much meaning. Don't make it so it tells your whole life story in one tattoo. You have the rest of your body for that. Don't stress the meaning too much. If you want a rose just because you like roses, then get a rose. Just make sure it's not something super specific that in 10 years you might regret. Like maybe a rose for your mom. You know, something general like that. And finally, I would say try to avoid the main real estate areas of your body. These are places that your main tattoos will mainly be visible. This is, of course, your face, neck, and hands. Don't ever start getting tattooed there. I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't get face, neck, and hands tattoos until you are pretty heavily covered. But of course, it's always up to the person. It's just I started getting tattooed on this arm, and your arms are the most like visible thing besides your face, neck, and hands. And I regret my decision to start on this arm and my collarbone because now my tattoo taste has changed and grown so much that there's so many other things I would so much rather cover this arm in than what I did. So I would say start on like your leg or your thigh, something that's not a mainly visible area, so that you give yourself time to allow your tattoo taste to grow before you decide what you want everywhere else. But at the same time, the more you get tattooed, the more you'll see it's not really that big of a deal to get tattooed. It's much more casual than most people make it out to seem, and it'll become more and more casual and you'll care less and less. Also, make sure that whatever tattoo you're getting fits whatever body part it goes on, kind of like how my bridge does not fit my collarbone. This bridge should be like in a frame somewhere else, like on my leg. It shouldn't be just a bridge, open, no frame. You know what I mean? So just make sure it fits. Don't get a tiny micro tattoo on your bicep that wastes this whole space of real estate for one tiny tattoo. But again, that's something that your artist will help you decide, and he or she will also help design the tattoo so that it fits the body part that you want tattooed. So this goes back to, again, always trust your artist. And my last piece of advice is pick your artist very wisely. A lot of people don't understand what is a good tattoo versus a bad tattoo, or how you should go about picking an artist. Many people think that all tattoo artists are created equal, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So if you're looking into getting a new tattoo, or you just want some advice on how to pick out an artist, make sure you check out my next video on how exactly to choose a good artist, and I'll also go over how to look at their portfolio and decide whether or not they are good at tattooing. This was a short one, but it's all I have for you guys for today. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up so I know. Also, please subscribe to my channel. It would really mean so much to me. Doing YouTube is my dream, man. I can't say that enough. I know it sounds stupid to a lot of you, but it's not just some dumb hobby where I'm trying to see how many subscribers I can get. This is what I want to do in life. This is my passion in life, and this is my plan for my future. So if you could please subscribe, it would mean so much to me. And hit that notification bell so you're always notified when I post, and you can see more weird and creepy shit from me. Alright, all my little tattooed poop kings and queens, I will see you later.
Hold on, girl, now wait just a minute. I've got something to say, you should hear it. Oh, I'm happy to make time for your feelings, but you have to admit I already do. Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced, and I'm yours.